A lot of people like to say mean or bad things about the Desert Eagle .50, but it is the most practical, the most fun, and the best gun that I own. Let's talk about that today.
Fuck. Fuck. It's so windy.
Yeah. First thoughts?
It's just so much wind. But it's more manageable than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
We're about to do a Deagle mag dump. This is probably gonna cost around $14. It's kind of like an amusement park ride. You just hold on and it just takes you. So let's see how it goes. Well, the target fell over, so I guess we'll restart, I guess. Oh my God. Nothing better. So before I really get going, I need to say thank you to everyone that interacts with this channel. Thank you to everyone that supports on Patreon. I have wanted to buy a Deagle since 2009, and I never thought that it would be something that I could do. Never thought it would be something that I would ever actually make the purchase on. But with all of the support that we had on Patreon, we were able to make my dream since 2009 when I was playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 come true. This Desert Eagle is going to be a gun that I'm going to pass down to my grandkids. I am so thankful for all of your support. Thank you. Many people will say things like, oh, this gun is too expensive, this gun is too heavy, this gun is not practical. And while all of those things are true, I still think that the Desert Eagle is a great gun. I'm going to talk about what I like about this gun and what I don't like. So let's get some specs out of the way, and we're going to talk about, because I'm in California, some of the restrictions and how I was able to actually get a 50 caliber Desert Eagle. Well, in California, unless you're law enforcement, you can actually only buy the Desert Eagle that's chambered in 44 Magnum. This one here is 44 Magnum. This one here is 50 Action Express. So when you buy the gun, it comes in 44 Magnum. I spent $16.99 during the middle of the pandemic on this Deagle. This gun in 44 Magnum came with 2 mags like this that hold 8 rounds plus 1 in the chamber. And it came with a hard carrying case, which was nice. You know, it's got nice foam padding in it. It also comes with, and this is the first time I've had a gun come with this, a DVD instruction manual for how to actually properly operate it. It comes with some basic information as far as what sort of loads to run through this, because if you try running 44 Magnum cowboy loads through this, it is not going to cycle. You basically need to be using full power defensive loads, or at the very least, you need to be running FMJs that are going at a certain FPS. You want to use hot loads and you want to control this gun and be strong on it. I have shot it one-handed gangster style, which I'm sorry I don't have footage of, but I have shot it like that and it still cycled just fine. So it's one of those things where some people will report that with lighter loads it didn't work properly, but with the right loads I was able to basically give the best possible situation for limp wristing and it still cycled just fine. If in the future I have any issues with this gun cycling certain ammo, I might do a long-term review, but as of right now I have not had this gun jam on me. Since I got it in 44 Magnum, I was like, you know what? Why would you ever own a Deagle if you're not going to also own it in 50 Action Express? Now, 50 Action Express is a typically 300 grain bullet for most of the rounds out there, and it is absolutely ridiculous. The mags hold 7 rounds. In order to get it in California, you got to buy the 44, then you buy the 50 Action Express barrel and 2 magazine kit, which runs about $520 or so. I was able to get this for a much better price online because I had some hookups, and I'm very thankful for those people that hooked me up. 50 Action Express, or 44 Magnum. 50 Action Express, the ammo is going to cost you at least $1.25 to $1.50 if you can get it online. Typically expect to pay $1.50 to $1.75 to $2 per round, because as far as I'm aware, the best ammo for it is defensive loads or hollow points or some sort of high velocity hard rounds. You don't want to run cheap ammo through this. Fortunately, though, from what I've heard, there's not many loads out there for 50 Action Express that aren't tuned for a deagle. Because quite honestly, if you're a manufacturer of ammo and you're making ammo chambered in 50 AE, why would you not let it run in a deagle? Why would you not want it to be optimized for the deagle? So I've never had any bad issues. I've shot several types of Hornady and some American Gunner, I believe, and some Arms Corps. And I have still not had any issues with the 50 Action Express or the 44 Magnum, just shooting normal PPU cheap stuff or cheap defensive stuff. But that's how I was able to get it in 50 Action Express. You buy the 44 for around $1,600 or so, and then you buy the conversion kit, which then, honestly, I like having both calibers because right now I'm actually out of 50 Action Express, but I was able to get 44 Magnum much more easily, so I can still shoot this gun. Yeah, it doesn't have the flashy titanium nitride gold barrel in 50, but if I want people to shoot it that I don't really know quite as well, I'm just like, hey, yeah, here, shoot a deagle. They're not going to know the difference. They're not going to really appreciate the difference in 50 versus 44. I love having the muzzle brake on this gun. It really tames the recoil. Now, it's still going to have a lot of recoil because it still is a big bullet and it's got a very heavy slide that reciprocates, so you're always going to have that back and forth motion. But the fact that this gun weighs 4.5 pounds, 4.5 pounds, there are AR-15s on the market today that you can go online and buy and have shipped to your local FFL. This handgun weighs about as much as an AR-15 that I actually used to own. That is ridiculous. But because it's so dang heavy, it does allow it to soak up a lot more of that recoil. The slide, when you open this up, I think it's about 10 inches from the front of the barrel to the back of the slide. The slide is very heavy. The barrel is 6 inches long. 6-inch barrel on a handgun, that's pretty long. When you open it all the way up, I think that gets you to over 10. So this thing is just absolutely ridiculous. But because of how big and how heavy it is, it makes it a lot easier to control than a smaller gun that would be shooting a similar caliber. Shooting a small 380 or shooting a small 38 Special or a small 357 Magnum snub nose is actually less comfortable than shooting this in 50 Action Express, especially because it's got the integrated muzzle brake. This gun honestly is just absolutely ridiculous. I love it so much. This is my dream gun. I noticed that it was shooting very low, and I'm not really sure what that is. I think in the future I'm going to be getting the adjustable rear sight because I want to be able to kind of tune this for the load, because I was having to hold way high, and I was even, I was making sure that I wasn't flinching and that I was just properly, letting off that round. And I still felt like I was having to aim consistently high. It was shooting good groups. It was hitting in the exact spots that I would expect based on how high I had to hold. Or it wasn't shooting off to the side. I wasn't just dipping low left. When I was holding really high, I was able to get hits on a steel target, and it seemed like they were all hitting directly middle, just very low. So I'm not sure what that is, what the issue with that is, but it's kind of unfortunate, you buy a gun that's that expensive and I can't seem to hit anything with a standard lollipop technique. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong, but I think that I'm going to have to get the adjustable rear sight. So that is something that I'm not super fond with, but it is what it is. They're pretty cheap to get the adjustable rear sight, and it's something that I was going to want to do anyway, because with a gun like this, you want it to be good for precision, especially at longer ranges. So if I could actually dial this in and shoot and plink at little steel targets at like 50 yards, that would be perfect. That's the ultimate party gun. You bring this gun to the range and you let people shoot a round or two, like I did at a local match that I went to in Sonoma County. And people love it. It's just one of those guns you bring out and you're like, hey, shoot this gun. a lot of people will make jokes about the fact that it's super heavy or ridiculous or it's not very practical or that it's just pointless. And well, here's the thing. How many of you that say that this gun is pointless own multiple ARs? It's one of those things where, yes, this thing isn't practical on its own, but neither is so many things that we already own. And this is so much cooler than owning 3 PSAs that you shoot once a year when you have one main AR that you shoot all the time. So for me, I chose to have a gun that's actually worth remembering, a gun that when you bring it, people want to shoot it. When you say, hey, do you want to go to the range? People ask, yeah, can you bring the Deagle? I want to have a gun that's fun, enjoyable, crazy ridiculous, and I've wanted a gun like this for a very, very long time. Something else that's pretty cool about this gun is the fact that it's very easy to disassemble and clean, and in turn, very easy to convert between 44 Magnum and 50 Action Express. It kind of takes apart similarly to a Beretta 92, where you just kind of press the button on the side and then rotate a lever, and then the barrel just pops right out. So there's a little lever and a little button. So this little button right here, and then a little lever right here. I press the button on the rear, I rotate down, barrel comes off, boom. I could then take the slide off. The piston and everything just fell out because I'm dumb. And that is one thing that's pretty cool about this gun. The fact that it's piston operated, this is not a direct blowback firearm. This is a short stroke piston system, I believe. And it's just so ridiculous that this gun's bolt face is more closely resembling an AR-15 than it is a standard handgun. I mean, this gun is just absolutely insane. I really just, there's no better way to put it than this gun is an absolute showstopper. You bring this to the range and people are going to want to know what you're shooting. They want to know what you're up to. And that alone, to me, is worth it. I'm not saying that I like the attention when I'm at a shooting range, but I like the idea that if I wanted to make a friend at the range, I could very easily just walk right up to them and say, hey, do you want to shoot this Deagle? Because who in their right mind that has not shot a Deagle before would ever look at that and say, nah, I don't think I want to shoot that. That doesn't look very cool. Because the Deagle is just downright straight up. It is a sexy, badass gun. This gun is very easy to clean. It's very cool. It is fashionable. I have a leather shoulder holster that I'm planning on rocking that just got here in time for the weekend when I went shooting, but I didn't take the time to do any footage of me drawing and using it, which I regret deeply, but maybe in the future I'll do an update video about this gun. All in all, the Deagle is worth it. If you don't own a Deagle, you should at least shoot one at once in your life. If you've ever thought to yourself, maybe I should get a Deagle, get a Deagle. They're fun, they're awesome, I love it. Again, I really want to say thank you to everyone that supported me on Patreon because you guys made this possible. You made my dreams come true. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. I legitimately mean that. I really want to say thank you again to everyone that supported me on Patreon. I really need to specifically thank Crazy CS, Sam Karasi, my best friend Jacob Munoz, Glock Fairy Jack, Unversed, not Universed, Unversed. I also want to say thank you to everyone that's on my mod team on Discord. I want to say thank you to Tam specifically because the work that he's done setting up the Discord has been awesome. We got a lot of cool emotes. If you want to join the Discord, I will have a link down below that will be allowing the first 25 people to actually get in and get into the Discord. If that does not work, you can always at any point in time subscribe to the Patreon, at which point you will get an automatic invite if you link your account. There's a $1 tier that gives you access, and then there's all kinds of other tiers that give you access to a lot more other content or little bonuses. But yeah, thank you to everyone that's supported this channel. It's kind of cool to see that people are liking, commenting, and subscribing on the channel so frequently, and that they then share those videos elsewhere. I'm in a couple Facebook groups and I'm on Reddit, and every once in a while I'll see that someone has taken one of my videos and posted it somewhere else. And I think that's really cool because I'm not a YouTuber, really. I'm just a dude. And it's cool to see people enjoy the content so much that they're willing to then go out and talk about it with other people and other groups that they're a part of. If you happen to share it somewhere else, drop a comment and with a link to it saying, hey, I posted this over on XYZ forum or whatever group that I'm in. But thank you, everyone. I really do appreciate all the support. You guys know the drill, though. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace.
All right, Desert Eagle chambered in 50 Action Express. It's a very practical gun, very easy to handle, light recoiling, inexpensive rounds. Let's see how it goes. Jesus. Yeah, it's a very practical gun. I got a little bit of spall back at me at about 12 yards on the steel target. We're shooting hollow points that are about 300 grains, which compared to a 9mm, which is about 124 grains for a lot of common hollow points, it's just absolutely ridiculous. But being that this gun weighs 4.5 pounds unloaded, it honestly shoots a lot softer than one would think, knowing that you're shooting a 50 caliber bullet. It's not practical for anything, except maybe shooting 2 bears coming at you at once, which probably not something anyone has ever experienced in their life, but it is a situation it might be useful. The safety isn't exactly easy to use. I have fairly large hands and I still find that I kind of have to break my grip to really get on it, but it's a great gun. It's not expensive. It's not expensive to shoot. It's not reasonable at all, but I've wanted one since 2009 and here we are. Oh man, that is ridiculous and I love it.